So we have this lengthy question. A sector of circle with radius 21 centimeter has an area of 280 centimeter square. Calculate correct to one decimal place the perimeter of the sector. Now let's take number one first. Remember, we've done the perimeter of a sector, and I've told you that you don't need to cram this thing. All you need to know is to know how to draw a sector. Now remember, perimeter is distance around a shape. So if this place is radius, so we should be having radius plus radius. That is 2r plus, then this part is known as the length of arc. And the formula for length of arc is theta over 360 times 2 pi r. So it means that the perimeter of a sector, this is the formula, 2r plus theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Now let's solve number one. So we have solution 1, perimeter equals to 2r plus theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Now we need to note what we were given in the question. So we have a sector of circle with radius 21 centimeter. So we know radius equals to 21 centimeter. So we don't know theta. So we have theta equals to, we don't know theta. And we know pi. Take pi equals to 22 over 7. Now to find the perimeter of the sector, we need to know theta. If we don't know theta, there's no how we can find the perimeter of this sector. So how do we find theta? Now look, we have something. We know that the area of the sector is 280 centimeters square. So we can use this to find theta. So we need to remember, what's the formula for the area of a sector? So we have area of a sector. Remember, area of a sector is just a fraction of the area of a circle. So we have theta over 360 times, what's the area of a circle? Pi r square. Does this make sense? Now we know the area of this sector. We're given the area as what? We're given the area as 280. So we know the area to be equals to 280. Theta, we don't know. That's what we are trying to find. Pi is 22 over 7. And then we know that radius equals to 21 centimeter. Now we slot this into the formula to be able to find theta. Alright, so now the point of this whole thing is that for any formula, there should be only one unknown. If there are two unknowns, there is no how you can find the unknowns. So for perimeter, we don't know perimeter and we don't know theta. There's no how we can do that. Does that make sense? So if we slot all these into the formula, we should be having 280 equals to theta over 360 times pi is 22 over 7. So we have 22 over 7 times radius is 21. So we have 21 square over 1. Let's solve the remaining by the side. So we should be having 280 equals to theta over 360 times 22 over 7 times 21 square is 21 times 21 over 1 over 1. 7 here 1, 7 here 3. 3 here 1, 3 in 3 is 1, 3 in 6 is 2, 3 in 0 is 0. I can also have 3 in 12, 4, 3 in 0 is 0, and 3 in 21 is 7. We can also have 2 in 22 is 11, 2 in 40 is 20. So I'm left with 280 equals to theta over 20 times 11 over 1 times 7 over 1. Does this make sense? So I should be having 280 equals to theta times 11 times 7 should give us 77 theta all over 20 times 1 should give us 20. So remember, this we can have over 1. So we cross multiply. 77 theta times 1 should be 77 theta equals to 280 times 20 will give us 5,600. So to find theta, we divide both sides by 77. So we should be having 77 here 1, 77 here 1. So theta equals to 5,600 divided by 77 should give us 72.7 degrees. Now that we found theta at 72.7 degrees, we can bring it here and then we'll be able to find the perimeter of the sector. Now let's do that. So now we know that theta equals to 72.7 degrees. Now do you get the point? We have to use the area of the sector to find theta so that we can find the perimeter. So we slot this into the equation. Now all I need from you is for you to just follow this step by step. It's not hard, it's just for you to understand it and to follow step by step. So it means perimeter equals to 2, r is what, 21, so 2 times 21, plus theta is what, 72.7 all over 360 times 2 over 1 times pi is what, 22 over 7, and radius is what, 21 over 1. Does this make sense? 7 here 1, 7 in 21 is 3, 3 here 1, 3 in 3 is 1, 3 in 6 is 2, then 0. I have 2 here 1, 2 in 120 is 60, 2 here 11, 2 in 60 is 30. Does this make sense? So we are left with perimeter equals to 2 times 21 should give us 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 42 plus. So we are left here with 72.7 all over 30 times 11 all over 1. Alright, so let's solve the remaining somewhere by the side. So if we solve it here, we should be having perimeter equals to 42 plus 72.7 times 11 should give us 799.7 all over 30. So we should be having perimeter equals to 42 plus 799.7 divided by 30 should give us approximately 26.66. So it means perimeter equals to 42 plus 26.66 should give us 68.66. But remember, we are told to take our answer to 1 decimal place. So it means perimeter equals to 68.7 centimeters. Now this is our answer. Do you understand? So just go step by step and you should get the answer. Now let's do number 2. So for number 2, we have if the sector is bent such that its straight edges coincide to form a cone, calculate to the nearest degree the vertical angle of the cone. So that we can better understand this, let's try to represent this in a diagram. So remember, if we have the sector, now we know that this place is theta. This is the radius of the sector and we know it to be 21 centimeters. So this place is 21 centimeters. 21 centimeters. Now we turn this sector into a cone. So we have a cone. Now we know that this place is 21 centimeters, which is the slant height of the cone. 21 centimeters. This is the vertical height of the cone. And then we've got the radius of the circular base. Let's call it small r. Now this place is what we are told to find, the vertical angle. This angle here. We can call it alpha. Now the reason for this is that if you look, this alpha, which is the vertical angle of the cone, will be smaller than theta. So they are not equal because you folded the sector. So the angle here should be smaller than the angle here. Does that make sense? Now the only way we can find this angle is if we know radius or if we know the vertical height. But we don't know any of them. So how do we find the small r, the radius of the circular base? Now you need to remember the relation at the beginning of this video, and that is length of arc. Can you remember? Length of arc, which is this part here, we said it's equal to this circular base of the cone. So it's equals to the circumference of the circular base of cone. Does this make sense? Now if we want to represent this in formula, length of arc, what's the formula for length of arc? We have theta over 360 times 2 pi r. But in this case, we want to make sure we differentiate this radius of the sector from the radius of the cone. So we are going to be using 2 pi capital R. Do you understand? Equals to circumference of the circular base. What's the formula for circumference of a circle? That is 2 pi r. But in this case, the radius is small r. So we put 2. Does this make sense? Now to make this easy for us, since we have 2 pi on the left hand side of the equation, and then we have 2 pi on the right hand side of the equation, we can decide to divide through by 2 pi. So it means 2 pi here can cancel 2 pi here. Does this make sense? Left with theta over 360 times r, capital R, equals to small r. Now remember, let's solve the remaining here. So remember that in the last question, question 1, we found theta of the sector to be 72.7 degrees. We know our capital R, which is the radius of the sector, to be 21 centimeters, and we are trying to find the small r. Now we slot this into the formula. 72.7 over 360 times 21 over 1 equals to small r. Now 72.7 times 21 should give us 1526.7. All over 360 times 1 should give us 360 equals to r. So it implies that r should be equals to 1526.7 divided by 360 should give us approximately 4.2 centimeters. So it means that the radius of the circular base is 4.2 centimeters. Now can we try to now represent this diagrammatically so we can know what is going on here? So it means if we still have the cone, this is the cone. Now we have the vertical height, we have the radius of the circular base. Now we've gotten it to be 4.2 centimeters. Now the slant height is still 21 centimeters. We are trying to find the vertical angle. But to find alpha, we need to find this small angle here first, which is alpha over 2. We can call it beta. Now, so that we can really understand what we want to do, let me try to bring out this triangle here, this small triangle, this right angle triangle here. So if we try to bring it out, we should be having this. Can you see? We know this place to be 21 centimeters. We know this place to be 4.2 centimeters. So we are trying to find this angle here, which we called beta. Now we can solve this using trigonometry. Remember SOHCAHTOA? The side facing the angle is opposite. Then the side facing the right angle is hypotenuse. So we know opposite and hypotenuse, it means we are going to be using sine. Does this make sense? Sine beta equals to opposite over hypotenuse. So sine beta, our opposite is 4.2, all over, our hypotenuse is 21. So it then means that sine beta equals to 4.2 divided by 21, 0.2, which implies that beta equals to sine inverse of 0.2, which means that beta equals to sine inverse of 0.2 is approximately 11.53 degrees. Now remember, we are trying to find alpha, not beta, and we know that alpha equals to 2 times beta. Alpha equals to 2 beta. Means that alpha equals to 2 times 11.53. Which means that alpha equals to 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 0 carry 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Remember, I have my points here. Then 2 times 1 is 2. So we have alpha equals to 23.06 degrees. But we are told to calculate to the nearest degree. So which implies that alpha equals to 23 degrees. This is our answer. I hope you understand this. Now, if for any reason you do not understand it till the end, all you need to do is to watch the video again and again and make sure you understand it step by step and you are able to picture it in diagram. Also, don't forget that the length of arc is equal to the circumference of the circular base of the cone. Also, the area of the sector is equal to the curved surface area of the cone. I know you will get it.